We in a stew, baby. What is going on, everybody? It is 7 o'clock at night, and we got a lot to get into today on the show. Welcome into the stream. All right, so today I have a few things I want to cover. Number one, we have not had an update on, and this is really honestly unfortunate. We haven't had an update on Nancy Guthrie. Really, we're just in the same position like we were. And so I want to speak from my heart about this because I wanted to start with kind of the hard part first, and then I want to get into it. But what's really killing me is I know exactly how this feels to be in this waiting position where you don't know what's going on. And your mind is racing and you're constantly feeling I can't tell you what a torture it is. I really can't. And I've told you guys this before, but I want to reiterate this that everybody kind of like was in the same position. We're all wondering what the heck is going on. Where is Nancy and what is happening? So we're in the same position, right? It's been a long time and there's really not a lot of updates. And so over this last couple days, I want to say this must have been posted on Easter, but Savannah has returned, which is Nancy's daughter, has returned back to anchoring, and she posted this video that I want us to watch together, and we're going to go through that. And I want you guys to understand, because I saw a lot of people skeptical and saying that her mannerisms are different. So I have not watched the video. We're going to watch it together and react to that live. And yeah, I've seen the opinions, and I've heard a lot of people discussing that they think that she's sketchy. Guess what? A lot of people thought the same thing about me, thought my videos were weird, thought that they were whatever. So it's public opinion. Then I want to talk about, I hope I say this correctly. I should have asked somebody to say it for me, but the Artemis 2, it's everywhere. It is the most recent space exploration from NASA. There's some videos out there that I just don't know anymore what's true. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say I'm not one of those guys, not one of those people that jumps in and tries to say things like, oh, this space exploration isn't true, this and that. There's something about it that just doesn't add up. Okay. There's a live feed from 250,000 miles away. Okay? Hold on, slow down. Are you telling me that I can't get service in the middle of town, but you can have a conversation with somebody who's 250,000 miles away? How? I don't know. Don't even get me in there. Okay. And then lastly, appreciate you, man. Thank you. This is my favorite hat. You probably see this one on me. Again, I wash my shirts. I do laundry on the weekends. I wear a lot of the same clothes. Don't be judging me out here. Don't you guys be talking all that garbage. The Artemis 2, man. It's actually pretty cool, though, to look at. And then lastly, I have to prove something here. Within the last couple of months, randomly at some point, and I always say the other day, so I promise you this was, I don't know when this was, but I told you guys that I was on Modern Family, and it's been popping up on my Instagram a lot, and I don't know why I'm getting these clips of Modern Family, and it makes me think about back to the time what could have been. So I'm going to show you the clip on stream so I don't have to hear nothing from y'all, because I guarantee you, yes, I was on Modern Family, and I almost had a real part, and I fumbled a date. We'll get into it today on the show. But first off, let's start off with this video with Savannah Guthrie. That was an Easter message.
Welcome to The Wave. Current news.
All right, everybody. So this is the video. I want to say this is the hardest part about having somebody you love who's missing. And I'm telling you right now that there's nothing more hard because your life is still happening, right? So the world just stops and all you can think about is your missing family member that you love. In my case, it was my sister and my brother at the same time. You don't want to laugh because it feels like everything's inappropriate. You're uncomfortable. And then all of a sudden, all these people out of nowhere come flying into your life. And all these media people come flying in and they're all offering you to be on their show and they all want a piece of the pie. Let's call it that. And you learn a harsh lesson. I know Savannah, luckily, in one regard, understands the TV business. And so luckily, she's probably been able to navigate a lot of those issues. But people will come in and try to take advantage of the story because it's a story that they can report on and make money off of. my heart really goes out to their family. And I know a lot of people in the beginning also were judging and saying that it was Savannah in the mask, things like that. I'll tell you, I literally from experience can tell you there's so hurtful to see that there are people who are blaming you for the tragedy that you're experiencing. So not only are you experiencing it, people are literally piling on by conspiracy theories and constantly putting you at fault. It's insanity. So really can't say too much more than that. But I want to watch this message because a lot of people have said that her mannerisms and things are different. But I want to give you a little bit of my perspective. Obviously, it might not be 100%, but McSpunky, where'd your chat go? Oh boy. Super sticker says character holding their head in their. Oh, that's I read what the thing says. You're my number one. I read what the emoji's supposed to say. Okay, let's get into the video, guys.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Easter. And Easter is happy. It is flowers and pastels and baby bunnies. It is sunshine and joy and hope. It is rebirth and second chances and new life and fresh starts. It is the most important day of the year for all of us who believe, even more than Christ's birth, more than his death, his resurrection, his second birth into a permanent life. That is what is most crucial to us.
Okay, so I think maybe people think it's disingenuous because she's reading off of a prompt or a teleprompter. Is that what's disingenuous? I don't know.
Us. His revival and resurrection mean the same for us. We celebrate today the promise of a new life that never ends in death. But standing here today, I have to tell you, there are moments in which that promise seems irretrievably far away, when life itself seems far harder than death. These moments of deep disappointment with God, the feeling of utter abandonment. For most of us, there will come a time in our life when these feelings hold sway. In our tradition, we are taught to take comfort in the fact that our friend, Jesus, in his short life, experienced every single emotion that we humans can feel. That his taking on the form of humanity made him not a distant observer to our pain, but a hands-on experiencer of it.
I think that this is brave. My first reaction before we finish this video, just as we're watching this, is that this is brave, and it's hard because people know what she's going through right now, and she's trying to share a message of Christ. So that's my initial reaction, just so you guys know.
Recently, though, in my own season of trial, I have wondered. I have questioned whether Jesus really ever experienced this particular wound that I feel. This grievous and uniquely cruel injury of not knowing, of uncertainty and confusion, and answers withheld.
Yeah.
In those darkest moments, I have thought, bitterly and perhaps irreverently, that I have stumbled upon a feeling that Jesus did not know.
So I'll just answer that question. And again, this is just my opinion. So please just take everything I say as an opinion. But what I will say is this: Jesus would have felt those things, but not in the same exact context. Again, we can't say, if we're talking Jesus, we can't say that Jesus knew what it was like to have to deal with someone passing away from drugs, because that didn't exist. So there's certain context, right, to the times of what we experience, and things that we have in our world now that Jesus did not have 2,000 years ago. But imagine if you believe in Jesus, then you know the Bible says that Jesus knew he was going to die, knew he was giving himself up, and had human feelings about giving himself up: uncertainty, fear, worry, doubt, betrayal, and abandonment. So he did experience those things. People also sometimes forget the prayer in Gethsemane. They forget the whole part of the actual death. Sometimes it's just too simple. I think we just skip around and say, well, Jesus died for our sins. Well, what does that even mean? Like, how does killing someone pay for your sins? That doesn't make any sense. Jesus had to go through Gethsemane first and feel the weight of the sins and feel everything. And then went to the cross and finished it, allowed it to happen. But again, thank you. This is a perfect example. Jesus himself did feel this way. God, where are you? Why am I alone? Why am I hanging on this cross? Why am I going through this? Abandoned, broken. And I think we don't even understand, not to tangent too much, but real quick, just because we had Easter, I don't think we understand the full scale of what Jesus went through. There's no movie that can go that graphic. Jesus did not look like a human being. Jesus was torn, all his skin was gone. There's a lot of things that happened to him. So that's the point. Jesus did experience those things. So it's just not exact same context, but the feelings themselves, I believe he's felt.
After all, don't the gospel stories recount Jesus informing his disciples of his destiny, that he had been sent to die to ultimately be raised up? They didn't get it, but he did. He at least knew his fate. And yes, it grieved him deeply, to the point of shedding tears of blood in the Garden of Gethsemane. But still, he knew the ending. He knew the plan. There would be suffering, but then resurrection. And so I thought, he never suffered this excruciating not knowing.
I get it.
It isn't wrong to think such thoughts, to challenge our God with questions. God does not ask us to be stoics with standards of pain with Zen-like remove or shallow sloganeering about the hard battle God gives to his toughest soldiers. Our questions to God, our wrestling with God, this is his opportunity. For through our authenticity and vulnerability comes a portal of revelation, the imparting of truth and wisdom.
Yeah.
And so it went for me, this portal opening as I stared at yet another incongruently luminous desert sunset amidst my spirit's utter darkness.
Obviously, I don't like the word portal, but obviously she doesn't mean it in a bad context.
Suddenly, I remembered the grave. I remembered 3 days in the grave. No one talks much about that. We focus mostly on Easter. Of course we do. We cut to the happy ending and the joy of Sunday morning. And yes, we do observe the Friday before, the agony of crucifixion. We mourn by candlelight that darkest night. But after Jesus died, after he breathed his last, what did he actually know? On the cross, he cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" That is the anguished cry of someone who does not know the answers.
I like that.
Where did his soul and his spirit go in those days in between? And what was he thinking?
I think he went to hell, to be honest with you. There's biblical evidence that he had to go down, not that he was damned to hell, but to experience what others had experienced. Yeah, that's a whole other debate for another time.
Did he think his time in the grave would be a day or two or 1,000 years? In the grave, did his agony seem indefinite to him? That torment of uncertainty, the way indefinite pain can feel eternal? Perhaps he did know this feeling after all. As humans living on this earth now, we are all suspended in that moment of uncertainty. Not 3 days, but thousands of years between his cross and our resurrection with him. Our faith gives us a spiritual conviction that we will be reborn, that God will redeem this pain, that every tear will be wiped away, that our Easter is coming. But we live viscerally in the meantime, the mean time of feeling unsure, lost, abandoned, disappointed, enraged, forgotten. Our comfort is that our God has felt those feelings from a perspective of humanity, that he has compassion on us, and that he promises, if not immediate answers, his sweet presence. He promises closeness to the brokenhearted, somehow, miraculously, his loving and gentle presence that makes the mean time less mean. Perhaps this is too dark a message to share on Easter morning. But I have long believed that we miss out on fully celebrating resurrection if we do not acknowledge the feelings of loss, pain, and yes, death. It is the darkness that makes this morning's light so magnificent, so blindingly beautiful. It is all the brighter because it is so desperately needed. So I close my eyes this morning and I feel the sunshine. I see a bright vision of the day when heaven and earth pass away because they are one on earth as it is in heaven. When we celebrate today, this is what we celebrate. And I celebrate too. I still believe. And so I say with conviction, Happy Easter.
That's crazy, bro. That gave me goosebumps. So yeah, this is what we're trying to talk about is you need to understand context here. She knows the position. She knows what she's going through, you know? And she knows people are looking at her, and she knows the fear and the worry and the doubt. She's the one experiencing that every single day. To even stand there and make a statement like that is brave. It's very brave. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that message. I don't understand why I think it's just like people want an answer to things that don't have answers. Like we want to simplify something because it just feels better to simplify, right? Like, oh, okay, if I can just like come up with an answer, if I can just come up with this idea that she's involved, or I can just explain it away. It's kind of like how people are with like a lot of the Epstein stuff, a lot of stuff we see on the internet. It's like they need a solution because that's how our brains are programmed to be. We are a beginning, middle, and end type of people. And so we spend so much of our time trying to make sense of things. And like, again, perfect example, when I was going through all of this stuff too, I know people wanted like to just have some kind of like ending or something of that measure. They just wanted some kind of answer. And so they made it up. And I tell you guys, theorizing is not wrong in any way, shape, or form. Asking questions is not. But there's a point in time where you're doing damage. You need to understand the internet, going to her page, going to her directly, and saying things in her comments. People think that it's just a 1 in a million, and maybe it is, but you're still going at that person and you're still blaming them for things that you have no idea what you're talking about. And you're spending your time commenting and saying that they're sketchy and things like that. So I think the internet can be a great thing and it can be a horrible thing. But personally, I don't see anything wrong with her message. I think it's very brave and strong. I had not even watched it yet. And I don't understand what the problem is. What happened there? I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what's wrong with that video. Okay, so now what I'd love to do is show you guys. This is the live. Okay, so first of all, actually, you know what? Let me say this. I have actually been praying for Nancy, and a lot of people I have had ask me what I think happened, and because of that feeling in my gut that I had. But I went back and forth between the dreams that I was having about Tylee and JJ, and those nights, man. It's just like every night you dream about them in some capacity, whether you're with them or you're having dinner with them or you see them, as spirits. Like it was just torture every night. I don't think that I can honestly tell you Savannah probably hasn't slept well ever since, hasn't been able to think straight, and probably hasn't not had a night without thinking about it where she dreams about, her mom. But I will tell you, I do not have anything but prayers and hopes. I told you guys to not give up hope. As crazy as things sound, my motto has always been, if you guys have seen, is God over odds, man. Like we always have these odds in our head, and yeah, of course, things seem more likely. More time goes by, your fear kicks in more. You think these conclusions, but again, you just never know until you know. And so I'm praying for answers, and I'm praying that Nancy comes home safe to her family, because that was the result that I wanted, and I would have done anything. And I used to imagine the moment of reuniting with my family in real life, not in heaven yet. Or like, I was like, I had these moments of like, just them walking in the door. I mean, it was just always in my head, and I just don't think we should give up hope. As crazy as that sounds to some people, I see people in the comments like, it's been this long, it's been this many days. You just can't give up your hope. So I'm going to keep praying for her, and I'm going to keep praying for her family. So that's where I'm going to leave that. And I think as a community, we do a great job of supporting each other and trying to hold out hope. I mean, what else is there truly in this world? Jesus was the epitome of hope. You know what I mean? We can't just give that up. So I want to leave that message out there tonight, to not just give up because it seems more likely that something could be the case. Exactly. I love that. What are we without hope? You know, that's one of the main messages of Star Wars, bro. Got to have hope. It's called A New Hope for a reason, baby. You got to have some kind of hope, because you don't want to just give up and make conclusions that are false. That's our brain. That's our brain trying to do its job. Our brain's trying to conclude things so it can process. I think that's what we do as human beings. So that's my personal opinion. Okay, so you know what? And that's okay. I have a vision now of seeing them in heaven, and it's a beautiful thing. And being able to see your family again is the hope that I have, right? It's my dream. That would be the greatest moment, to be able to literally reunite with all of the people that you love. That sounds like heaven to me. Just being there, being with Jesus, being with all these other people that you love, you know, it'd be incredible. So, but I know who I'm not going to see there. All right, that's a little petty. Colby, that's just not how we get down over here. Let's just leave it alone. Leave it alone. All right, guys, I need to show you this. This is actually hilarious. I'm going to make, can I make me big or me small? There we go. Oh, wait, I just did the opposite. Let me switch back, please. Thank you. Okay, this is the live stream, just so we're all clear. Live stream from space. Let's turn on the sound.
Superlative thumbs up.
We are watching the live stream. This is supposedly 250,000 miles away.
You can see all of the Artemis 2
I don't know why.
Astronaut Jeremy Hansen just flew.
I've never been this skeptical ever. I don't know if it's my stupid Instagram. Okay, let me, like, algorithm trying to get in my head, but look at this. Look at this. Okay, so we got all this stuff going on. So this is like a representation. Where's the like calculation? Okay, so 250,000 miles away. They're 8,000 miles away from the moon, and they're going 984 miles an hour. How do you not hit something, bro? Anyway, okay, so let me show you. Let me see if they do have the moon. This is the moon. I'm telling you, bro. I just want to talk about this because I'm so sick and tired of this flat Earth versus sphere thing. So there's the moon, supposedly. I only say supposedly because it looks like Star Wars. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that doesn't look exactly like what George Lucas made back in the first movie. That's all I'm saying. No disrespect. Obviously, I'm not an expert in this. I don't know what I'm talking about. Who do I think I am? Who do you think you are? I am. I simply don't know why something about this is bothering me. It's truly bothering me. I don't know why. But something about this is bothering me. Look at this. Would you look at this? Let me see if I can get that close up on it. First of all, remember when everybody's going crazy on their net? Oh, the moon's rusting. Oh, it's going to rust. How the frick does the moon rust? What are we talking about? Thank you. My Wi-Fi doesn't work at home either. What are we talking about here? You're telling me I can't get connection from downstairs to my upstairs, to my studio in the same house because you want me to buy the extender, but you can live stream from the moon, land on it. Stop, make a pit stop and prove a point. That's even more irritating. You already know all the stuff. There's no way you couldn't do a pit stop. I've seen The Martian. You guys are going to piss me off quicker than a hurry, okay? Here's my point. Right now, I'm looking at this. This looks, first of all, it looks like a sphere. It's not flat. But then I got all these people. They had what's his name? They had the big fighter who's super famous now, right? They had a Rampage Jackson. I used to use this dude in UFC. Okay, that's how I knew who he was, and I used to knock everybody out in UFC with Rampage. So then I started watching UFC, and this and that.
15-minute handover.
They're talking to them,
and I have a couple of items I want to read up to you. They'll require.
Can we just have a conversation? How the actual serious? I'm not even being facetious. How in the living hell do they have a connection? Somebody answer that question. Like, what kind of service can you have where the wavelength goes through space and earth and connects directly to this? If that technology exists, put it in my phone, please. I'd like connection when I go upstairs. I'd like connection when I go out and I'm at the supermarket. I'm at the mart and I can't find stuff and I'm trying to ask, hey, is this on the list? I've called 5 times. I can't get through to you. I have no service in here. My Wi-Fi is going grainy. So this is supposedly them on the moon. They're near the moon. Okay, they're floating around. Then it goes to Cartoonville. Hold on, slow down. They were 252,000 miles and they're losing miles. Are they coming home? They just left. Anyway, okay, this is the one I wanted to show you. This right here. We gotta have a conversation about this. Why does it? Okay. I feel like I'm not want to be rude. I don't want to be rude. But can we just have this conversation here? This just looks like a miniature. Okay, so the way you do this, right? This is exactly how movie magic works. I'm gonna give you guys a little insight. You take the spaceship and you put the lens under right here, and then you just pull it across. You can watch how they made Star Wars. This is exactly what it looks like. Was George Lucas that accurate? I can't tell anymore. So this is like, I don't know what this is. This is just all coming out now. Take my glasses off here. How do you guys feel about this? How do you feel about this? And it's not that big. Like, I know it's tiny. I don't know, man. We need to have a conversation. Why though? Okay, like I'm not. Hold on. Oh, is it gonna crush? Is it gonna crush? All right, let's have this conversation. I'm not the type. I've never ever once spent a minute of my life thinking about the moon not being visited until everybody started asking questions. I'm like, you know what? It's irrelevant. Like, flat Earth was so far out there. It sounded like a conspiracy theory, like, oh, they never landed on the moon, this and that. Okay. Then you actually do your history and your research, and there's a little bit of merit to it. And then you read your Bible, you read in Genesis, and you're like, what the frick? Okay, look at this. That's a cartoon. Go backwards. Hold on. Slow it down. What the hell is even that? First of all, that doesn't look flat. If this is real, it's not flat. But this does not. No, come on. Come on. Land on it, please. Just end the debate. Like, what are we doing? Land on it, prove a point, throw a football, call the president, and get the frick out of there. You know how much would stop today? The game would be done. It's game over. No one's ever going to ask another question. If you land in HD, brother, 4K, land on the damn moon, throw the football, pitch a flag, and send and wave at the camera. You're like 30 feet off with that camera, with that last camera shot. That does not look real right there. And how is it? Is that a shadow? That's not a shadow. If that's a damn shadow, we got a lot of conversations to have here. Is that a shadow? No, it's not a shadow. It's a crater. All right. Well, I thought I was going to catch him. Look, the reason I'm talking about this because I just watched it, and if you have not seen, If you haven't seen, not damn Insidious, what is that freaking movie called? There's a come on guys, help me out here. Help me out here. What is the one with Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway? Interstellar. Okay, if you watched Interstellar, I just watched that movie like 2 days ago. And then all this stuff starts popping up, and I'm thinking about going into a black hole and a wormhole and all this stuff. But I will say this. With the AI times that we live in, where you can't trust a post, where you have to look clearly and really decipher, some AI is definitely better than others, right? Like there's some that's so stupid, and then there's some that really breaks your brain. I can't trust anything anymore.
The Orion spacecraft, it continues to observe.
I don't know how they're
This
having a
is
conversation.
Artemis mission control. Those.
Oh, and I think we're seeing some directionality. Some of it is going in different directions because it appears to be moving and combining and recombining as it moves. It's pointing in different directions, and some of it appears to be going
But again,
down.
I'm a regular. I'm a casual. I'm going to admit that right now. I'm a casual. So I'm not going to sit here and try to act like I know what's going on for NASA, for a bunch of people who know what they're talking about. But I am going to say it's hard to believe this stuff anymore.
How I stare at it, it looks
It never was a question to me, at least.
And there on your screen, you Canadians.
But if you look at why we went to the moon, that's what opens up the door. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know. It's just curious, ain't it? Curious, ain't it? It just makes you think for 30 seconds. Okay, is this really happening anymore? Am I going to be able to trust anything that anybody says at this point? With the level of AI that we have, am I truly going to be able to sit here and believe anything that you're showing me ever? And what is this? A shot of some freaking what? I just never thought I'd be this guy. Okay, hold on. Let me go here. If this isn't pre-recorded, we're gonna have a conversation. What the hell is even that?
For us, because you have to leave Earth's protective magnetic field. Here in low Earth orbit, the crew members are protected from some of the harmful radiation. Going to the moon, they'll no longer be protected, so they'll have a higher radiation exposure.
Much like Artemis 1, we have so many radiation sensors and detectors that are inside the capsule. So
Why would you get on that plane? You know what I've been seeing lately? People trying to argue about say it right, Colby. Firmament. You know what I'm talking about? In the Bible, it talks about how God separates the waters from the sky. So people think that if you go too high, you hit the firmament and you hit water. So some people believe, and this is the graphic I keep seeing over and over. So you have the flat earth that's half a dome, right? So it's a flat, I got to get my example here. Okay. This is the earth. Okay. And the earth is sitting on top of this paper. There's a dome over the earth. And then over that is the water. And then it's like glory or like levels up, and then heaven sits on top of it. I can't keep up with this. I'm just going to put it that way. I can't keep up with it.
fully understand and appreciate the radiation environment for.
Slow it down.
Was coming back from the far side of the moon and having the first glimpses of planet Earth.
The only problem is it's so easy with the technology that we have to movie set this. That's all I'm going to say. You could put this like a movie set and have this happening like a movie set. So you could easily fake this part, like this part where they're just like floating, can be simulated very easily. We see it in every movie we watch.
After being out of communication.
She's having a damn interview from space. It's just, okay, I'm going to slow down. Okay? Thank you. Come on. No, I know I'm not the only one asking these questions. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm saying. There's just questions here. Like, you guys know this whole show is predicated on conversations. I can't say it. Frick it. This whole show is not to try to get people to fight or anything. We're asking questions. The question truly is, how is she sending me an interview from here? She's mic'd up. See that? How is she mic'd up? I don't know.
It really just reminds you what a special place we have and how important it is for our nation to lead and not follow in exploring deep space.
Where are you going?
I'd like to ask, what was your feeling when you had no communication, zero communication all of a sudden?
How do you relay that fast?
Obviously, your very special location. What was your feeling when you had no communication? A little bit different, perhaps.
Wait, hold on. Is that freaking Trump?
Yes, Mr. President, it was.
Wait, hold on. You're having a conversation with Donald Trump.
I was actually recording scientific observations of the far side of the moon. You know, that is actually the time when we were the farthest and the closest to the moon.
You can do all this, but you can't lower the gas. You son of a frick. Come on. We can do this, but we can't lower gas.
Moon. And so we were really able to make some of our most detailed observations of the far side of the moon up close. And so we were busy up here working really hard. And I must say, it was actually quite nice.
Did you see a difference, a big difference between the far side of the moon and the near side of the moon? Was there a difference in feel or difference in look? What did you see?
Well, Mr. President, we certainly did, and our side really.
Can I just say that? That's all I'm asking. If you talk about light traveling, sound traveling, everything has a certain amount of time. The fact that they've wired, if this is true, okay, I'm not going to pick up my side. I'm just saying, if you can have this quick of a relay from that far away, 250,000 miles, I don't think we understand how unbelievably far that is. And then it's cutting through space. I get it. There's satellites. They're bound. We're talking like this is almost instantaneous. So what speed is that communication able to travel? It just blows my mind. I don't know. Something about it.
Set us up well to understand what they thought we might see. And the gravitational pull of the Earth has had a profound effect on the near side of the moon, changing all those dark mares, those dark patches of the moon you see from Earth. It's very different on the far side. While you see some small patches of those mare in deep craters, it's very much absent on that side. So that's really neat. And while I have the microphone, sir, I just want to thank you on behalf of Canada. The space leadership you spoke of from America truly is extraordinary. I've said this many times before.
Yeah, they just talk
like that, and then
Mr. President, and
no, you need to land.
Leadership. Thank you to Jared for his leadership. Really, thank you for
mind you. Hold on. I just want to.
Really
okay.
Special for us, but it's really special for the team on the ground.
Let's have a conversation real quick, just so we're all clear. There's 3 million live viewers. 3 million people are watching this live. Okay. 3 million. Now you go ahead and add the bandwidth of them streaming this live. And then we're having a full-on conversation with somebody who is freaking knee deep in space with no lagging. I effing lag with bandwidth in my house. They're not even lagging, bro. They're talking to freaking Trump.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Integrity. This is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Crazy, bro. I don't know.
Thank you to all participants. Integrity, we are now resuming operational audio communications.
And then goes the cartoon. I don't know. I don't know anymore. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm okay with being wrong, bro. I'm okay. I'm okay with being wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's just like what the hell is going on in life if we can do this. I don't want to hear nothing about how you can't make our phones work easier. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, I really don't want to hear about that. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that had questions. I'm the only one that had questions about this whole thing. It's just, again, let's go back to, you guys know I'm a huge movie guy. I'm a huge cinema person. I love movies. I love TV shows. I love storytelling in general, right? And the more that I've learned about film itself, how much we've been able to pull off. You guys watch these movies now. You see the way that we're able to grab the lighting. I think a perfect example, not to get too nerdy on you, but if you guys have seen Avatar, which are the great, the blue guys, the great movies, Great movies. So I don't know what I'm talking about. Great movies. But you watch how they create their skin and their texture, and they're able to bring light through their ears and the shading of when they walk behind something. And it's just incredible that we're able to create those types of visuals that don't exist in real life. We are literally working inside of computers to digital make Avatar, right? Like one of the most beautiful fake worlds that I've ever seen in my life. And so with that being said, why can we not also say that we know, oh man, I'm about to go off right now. I'm going to do it. I don't care. The more that you learn about how governments work, okay, this goes back historically, they don't always share the information. We know that for a fact. But it really goes down to they also plot and plan to create things. And it's unfortunate because it causes the distrust. So if you go too far, now you're a conspiracy theorist and you're going, way out there and where everything is just a conspiracy and this and that. But historically, it is actually accurate to tell you and show you that governments of the past have created situations in where they literally want to trick you because they need it for some reason. That's all I'm going to say. It's really not that, it's not that far out there, because if you think about, I'm going to be so nerdy right now. Let's use Star Wars as an example because it's a perfect example. Palpatine is evil the whole time and he pulls the strings and he causes a war to simulate a situation in where he can politically move. If George Lucas can write that on a typewriter, okay, and then what, I watched all the behind the scenes stuff. He's sitting there writing this down. If George Lucas can make that up, are you telling me that people have been doing this for their whole lives, cannot figure out wars and distractions and use all of our advancements in technology to create stuff? That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to put on my tinfoil hat. I'm not going to start all that. I'm just saying you have to understand that governments are always going to be out for themselves, and that's life. And it's unfortunate because it shows you that you can't trust people who sit at the top, and they make it all about trustworthiness and transparency, but it's truly not. They're always going to do what's best themselves. And if you listen to how these government agencies actually talk about each other, they actually compete with one another for their best interest of the agency that they work for. Okay, so there's agencies in the government themselves that are out to look for themselves. That's unfortunate, because that just puts you in a position where it's like, so even people who are working for the government will choose to save their own butts over anything. So I don't know. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to get off that topic because that's a whole nother subject for another day. But I'm going to tell you this. If we ever do some history lessons on this show, I'm telling you, I can show you so many examples in where they literally scripted things to happen in the public eye to make news so they could cause an uprising or choose to take someone out so that way they can move a new person into power. It's crazy. It's like one of the most historical things in all of human history. So anyway, okay. I think I put my tinfoil hat on for long enough there. But I'm just saying, keep an open mind. This show is all about keeping an open mind. This show is all about asking questions. There's absolutely nothing wrong with asking questions. And I also want to say this to all the people who are religiously curious. Ask questions. Like, it's so sad to see that some people are so religious and stuck in an idea that they're not allowed to speak or ask God things or question things. Savannah just gave you a perfect example. It's okay to have those feelings. You're a human being. You think God doesn't know that? We usually view God as this distant, angry, all-powerful, like a ruler over you, rather than someone who actually is also broke the veil so you could have intimacy. That's the difference. He still is all those things, but yet the context shows that you are also accepted and loved by God. So to be loved is different, right? Love is the most powerful thing that there is. And so ask questions about your what you believe. Ask questions about your government. Ask questions about things and be curious, but ask more questions. That's all I'd ever say. It's always my encouragement to you. One question you're never going to ask me again in my life was Colby Ryan, okay, the Lion Ryan, on Modern Family. I don't want to hear nothing about it. And I'm going to give you the whole backstory, but I had to pull up my own video because this video that I'm going to show you originally is no longer on YouTube by itself. So I have to play the video that I made a long time ago. Colby, shut up. Here we go. I'm going to show you my clip and I'll talk after. Here we go. Make it big. Yeah, there you go. I don't want to hear nothing. Okay. I don't want to hear nothing after this conversation.
All right, guys. So this is actually on someone's YouTube channel. It's so funny. I couldn't find the actual clip. If you go.
Okay. So pause. That's Melanie and Brandon Boudreaux. We were all at Disneyland. I'm going to give you the backstory in a second.
To the show, you'll see me walking by, and Tylee's there too. She has a little hat on, but I'm going to pop in right now. I have a blue shirt with I think a white undershirt, because this is after I bought this shirt. I was trying to be on the show. So you see me come in.
There's me right there.
Oh, right there.
There's Lori.
Right next to the blonde.
The blonde. I called her the blonde. All right, so that's me, homie. Let me go. So I'll go little for you. Watch this. That's me.
You see me?
You motherfuckers talking crap.
I'm right there. And then Tylee, she's so short you can't.
Oh, Colby, you never knew. You never got on Modern Family. Yeah, right.
I can't even see her, but she's right next to us. And we all walk through. So it's so funny. This is on someone else's YouTube, but I'm coming again. I think right there.
There I am. I wish I could unpause that. There it is. There's Colby Ryan. I freaking told y'all, bro. Now listen, the reason this is a significant moment, this is not just like being an extra on a show. So I'm going to give you guys context. Stop it. Don't roast my 17-year-old self. Okay, listen. There's context to this. This is why I'm telling you the story. So my mom's cousin actually was a sound guy for Modern Family. We were on our way to Disneyland with no prior knowledge that he was there. They actually saw on Facebook on the way that they were at Disney. And so we are on our way at the same time. So it's like this merging. And so my mom looks back and she's like, hey, do you want to be on TV? Something like that, something dramatic. And I was like, I don't know. And she's like, something, I don't remember the conversation, but basically she was like, I'm going to show you, because I was like, God doesn't care they're going to Disneyland. I was very clear about that. I was like, God doesn't care they're going to Disneyland. And she's like, I'm going to prove you wrong or something of that degree. Okay. So we go to Disneyland and we end up walking into the park and we walk in. And first thing that happens is we go to meet her cousin. And he's back in the backstage and it's Gloria and it's Manny and his sister, who's actually also on Disneyland. I'm sorry to not look up their names before, so I don't mean any disrespect. I just remember seeing them. So I was like, holy crap, this is crazy. And then we went back to do whatever, and they asked us if we wanted to be on the show. And this is all shot in different sequences, as you guys know. And yes, you guys have seen this story, but I'm proving my point here, okay? I never want to hear it again. Because people said, no, you didn't, whatever. So then, as I'm walking around, they came back we went to another scene. You're there for a long time because they reshoot like 15 times. And we're all just kind of standing there feeling cool, but it's taking the whole day up. We're not doing anything other than standing around while they reshoot. The thing is, they went out of their way to ask if I wanted to be on the show. Now, again, I'm one of those cats, brother. Yeah, you know what? I'll do it. But I was wearing, yes, you can see I'm wearing a white shirt. This is not garments here. This is a white Nike shirt. And they said, you can't have a logo or anything on your shirt. You have to wear plain clothing. So go get a shirt and you can be in the next scene. And you can have a speaking part and you can do all this stuff. So we go up to the front. We get the shirt. We put it on. It's me, Tylee, and Lori. And then Brandon and Melanie. And I don't know where their kids were. I want to say they're with us. Someone else with us? I don't remember. I don't have enough context for that. But they told me to go put the shirt on. So my mom goes running around, finds a shirt. I put it over my shirt. I don't know why I didn't change. But it was a very quick decision because I was about to be on the show and have a speaking part. Now, again, you guys know that have been around me ever. I'm not trying to brag by any means, but I'm a taller guy. But I'm surprised of how much taller I was than everybody else. So I felt very out of place. Okay? Then, as this scene ends, they're trying to push me to meet Ariel. If you don't know who Ariel is, she's the shorter.
I had a big part on my star.
So shut up, Colby.
Coming again, I think.
Right here.
Right there. I told you.
Shut up, Colby. So where is she? She's not on there. She's the not the oldest daughter, but the second oldest daughter. She comes, they're like, do you want to meet her? And I'm like, yeah, I want to meet her. Yeah, let's meet her. Like, let's go. Again, I'm not the most confident guy in the world at this point. I'm like 17 years old, but I'm like, yeah, like I'm going for it. Okay. So I go over and I try to act so cool with her. And she's like, talk to me. She's like, blah, 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 blah. Me and my friends are going to do this thing. Okay. I'm like, cool. I got you, Shardy. You know, Shardy, you already know, like, I'm going to be out here. I'm going to be stunting on them, you know, like, I'm like trying to act, I don't know. I don't remember how I was, but I was trying to act cool because I'm like walking with them away and the scene's over and she's like, okay, do you want to hang out later? So I get her number. Okay. I have her number and she invites me to go and spend like that night hanging out with her and her friends in Disneyland. And bro, I'm telling you, I did not do it and I will always regret it. I don't know what I was thinking. My mom, so we were leaving that night. We used to do trips like this. You guys can think we're crazy, which Lori is crazy, but we used to go to for a day trip to Disneyland and then we'd go back home like the same night. So we'd get there the night before, spend the night and go, and then go back the next night. So like almost not even a full 24 hours before we were already heading back out towards Arizona because it's only 6 hours away from where we lived. So I was like, no, I'm good. I'm not going to go. I can't believe I didn't go. And then I text her some nonsense later on, like maybe a week later. I'm like, I guess I'll just see you on TV. Idiot. You should have went, bro. It's a one in a lifetime chance. Now, here's the other thing. I don't know what happened to my speaking part, but this is what breaks me to pieces. This episode is where they introduced this guy. You see who I'm circling? This guy was a boyfriend in a male interest. It could have been me. Okay. I'm just going to say it straight up. It could have been me. Could I act? I don't think so. I don't think I would have been a good actor, but if you gave me some few lines, I could have at least tried to deliver them with some conviction. You know what I mean? I would have tried. But what's crazy about this story is that this was obviously a story we all talked about. Now, the worst part is Brandon said, Colby, I'll take you home late. Go hang out with your girl. Go hang out with Ariel. Like this is it. And I'm like, no, like I'm good. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why I did that, but I should have hung out. But here's another thing I have to say, and we're all adults here. So I'm just going to tell you this story too, because this is what was crazy. So the girls were talking because again, there's like a behind the scenes thing where they're having a conversation about me because her cousin was like, you two should date, to me and Ariel, because I think we're like around the same age. And so, you know, Claire, the mom of the show, literally tells them that she cannot date me because I would crush her, that I'm too big. And I was like, you know, I think it's supposed to be, I don't know if it's supposed to be a compliment or not, but I didn't take it well. I don't know. I just like, really? Like you're going to tell my gal she can't date me because I crush her just because I'm like 2 feet taller than her. I mean, that's just rude. That's just rude. But we met everybody. They were super nice. Jay came over and talked to Lori for a long time. So they were having a little thing. I don't know. This whatever. But when I met everybody, it's always so crazy to meet someone in person because it's just always different. Like it's just, you know what I mean? Like you watch someone on TV and then all of a sudden they're there in person. It's just a very different feel. But if I would have made it on the show, I'm telling you right now, I would have delivered with some conviction. I'm telling you right now. I don't know why they cut me. Why'd they cut your boy? That was rude. What'd I do wrong? Nothing. But last part. So Tylee's so little, you can't see her at all. She's not in the shot. She used to laugh so hard because we tried to watch the episode when it came out, and the episode plays and like you can barely see her. But I kept walking. So you know they keep resetting you. So you go to one side. This is at the very front. If any of you have been to Disneyland, there's the Mickey Mouse as the main background, and then you either walk from one side to the other. I kept walking. They kept saying, cut. The big guy's in the way. You talking to me? I'm the big guy. So I had to walk like 10 times faster than normal to get out of there. But I remember Brandon and Melanie would go first, and they would always like, they tell you to like, whatever, like, so I guess you're like selling that you're fake talking or like whispering to each other for B-roll so it looks natural. Lori's like let's show you how Lori was. This is what pissed me off the most. I'm trying to look cool for my actress girlfriend, and Lori's like this, looking up at me, like trying to oversell it and not saying anything. And then Tylee's just walking and darting because she's so little, and people are like crammed in here. As you can see, they kind of give you a lane and they're like, just walk that lane like as straight as an arrow as you possibly can. And she just keeps coming over, and Lori's and like they keep but literally I was going too slow across the camera that they kept saying, get that big guy out the way, you know. And I was just like, everybody's just calling me big. I don't know. Is that really a compliment at the end of the day? Like, you're too big. You're just too big of a guy. It just felt like that. I felt like, okay, so I don't fit in here. Oh, I'm just too big, huh? I mean, I guess we're just not, can't be your friend, can't date you, huh? But imagine, this is my last part of this whole story. I always think back to, she had backstage access to everything. That Ariel had some cool stuff. We probably would have had a great time together. It would have been so fun to hang out and get to know somebody like that. I had her number. Like, it was all set up for me, and I fumbled. I truly, truly fumbled. Yes, this is it. So that whole episode is about, like, Gloria. She had the slippers on, and but what you obviously don't see is all the people who are like out, like their family is around, like people that are like with them are in Disneyland. But I didn't know they were going to go into the park. So like, I just assumed they had a backstage tour and all that stuff. Bro, I'm not lying about this. This is a verifiable conversation. Okay. I have witnesses who can say, yes, he was invited to be on the show. He was about to have a part. I'm telling you right now, you guys know I don't play. I'm not playing. So it's just an interesting random fact with the fact that we were all on TV. One thing I've always looked back at is a weird thing about Lori is that she has been on TV so many more times than normal. We were extras on Burn Notice. This is all random coincidence, by the way. We were in Miami, walked by random extras in Burn Notice. And then she was on Wheel of Fortune, which is just the most random thing ever. Like, what the hell? I remember, I'll never forget that. I was a little kid and she just like left. She's like, yeah, I'm going to Wheel of Fortune. I'm like, what the hell? One thing that's even more wild that you guys don't know, story time real quick, and last part of our show is Lori and I were about to be on Fear Factor back when I was a kid. And there's actually a recorded call between me, Lori, and this guy who was auditioning us. Now, again, I was an absolute scaredy cat, fearful kid. Now, I can laugh at myself now, but I was very fearful, very traumatized at an early age. And then on top of that, I was already a fearful kid. Okay. She wanted my ASS to go out and do Fear Factor stuff. I would have failed immediately. She would put it all on me, put me in a vat of scorpions at that age. Are you kidding me? So back in the day, it actually got canceled. But back in the day, there was Fear Factor with Joe Rogan or whoever hosted it at that time when I was that age. I was like, I don't know, 8 or 9. And it was before we met Charles. And then you had like the son, or it was like a parent kid Fear Factor. I'm telling you right now, I would have failed every single one of those challenges. I don't know what she was thinking, but again, yes, someone just said it. I don't know if I can go right here. Where did it go? You said she's chasing fame 100%. She was chasing fame. I never looked at it from that perspective, but some of these other parts were coincidence. Like the being extras in these different random shows were definitely literal coincidence, because we were already on our way to Disneyland by the time we found out that they were filming Modern Family that day, and that was posted on Facebook. So anyway, it could have been May. Yeah. It's just funny. I really don't think I would have performed very well being put on the spot and delivering a line and they're all looking at you, or whatever part I would have had. And I'd like some forced line. I don't know if I would have done well, but it always is a possibility. Could have happened. Who knows? Anyway, appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching the show tonight. I'll be back with you tomorrow. I love you. Again, keep asking questions. Keep asking questions. There's nothing wrong with that. And I absolutely love and adore all of you.